Awesome. So we should be streaming now. Welcome back to the Go Rush channel. I'm Buddy Lindsay, and we are working on our TUI-based application. If you give me a second, I want to be able to share some links because I have some fun stuff coming. Let's do this. I have no idea what I'm doing. Uh, let's see. Share link. All right. I come over to here. All right. So I am posting something there, and it's probably good for now. Yeah. All right, let's move on. Okay, so again, I'm Buddy Lindsay. We're doing a Rust live stream. We're gonna have a good time. Been working on a TUI application, and some of the developers of Ratatouille actually found my live stream and did some looking at it, and were basically like, "Hey, thanks for doing it. You kind of uh, we're doing things wrong, but you're doing things wrong," which is totally fine. It got some great feedback from them on some of the changes that have happened, and there's been some changes to Ratatouille over the last uh, year, maybe, I don't know, for a while, since they forked from the 2ERS. So, based on that, I said last week I was going to do some research into kind of better ways to doing the UI, and I did. And I even did some example code to do a slimmed down version so that I could then extract that into our application. So, we're going to rewrite the UI for our Ratatouille application using a widget-based perspective because Ratatouille has widgets, and basically it's a widget trait, and so it gives you options to be able to run it. Get into that here in a minute. First thing that I wanted to do, though, is I wanted to show that the Ratatouille community has a Discord. You can hit their site up to be able to find the Ratatouille Discord, and they've been really helpful. I had a few conversations in there with them, so that is awesome. The other thing that I want to mention is, if I can pull it up, I am on X/Twitter. I've been trying to call it X more since that's inevitably what it's going to be. I am on X, so if you are interested and you are on X, give me a follow on here, and I would be appreciative. So, with that out of the way, let's jump to our TUI application. So, based on that research, I realized, hey, things aren't as they appear, and the application that we actually went through and broke down was the JSON editor. And the JSON editor was one of the first, I think the first tutorial that they wrote for the Ratatouille community. And it's kind of like, I don't want to say it this way, it's an older way of doing it before they made some of the changes that they made. But it's not necessarily an older way, it's just a different way that's still relevant. I mean, we did it. I mean, we were creating our, so if we like that architecture better, that's one that we can use. One of the people I talked to likes that architecture a little better. So I was trying to like figure out like what is this widget stuff, because I was running into an issue where the tabs widget basically made no sense with what I was doing because it was just totally separate. I was really close to what I needed, but it still didn't make a lot of sense to use the tabs widget with the way I was doing tabs. I think the way I was using tabs works just fine, or would work just fine if we got that far. So I'm stepping back a second. I want to lean into Ratatouille more and some of the offerings that it has. One of the things that I'm always a proponent of is if you're using a library, use the library. Lean on it. Smarter people than me have written the library, and I should use that. I should just dig in, and they're going to maintain it better than I am, and they probably already solved a bunch of problems that I haven't solved yet. So, with that in mind, here is a basic application that just gets two things or a couple things onto the screen. Some of the interesting parts, and again, we're going to pull this into our application as we rewrite. One second. Okay, so the first is we're going to have our application. It's going to have a run method in it. The main here is going to run like that, and that's going to run the application. It's going to do a self.running is running function, and all that's doing is checking the mode. I think we forget what we put in ours, but we'll figure that out. If it is true, then we're good. Do the draw and do the handle key press. Otherwise, return OK, and your application is done and exits. So these are the two things we have to do: is we have to manage the drawing of the screen, and we have to handle. I like how it went 2 and then 3. Anyway, we have to handle key events, and we have to handle drawing. So on the draw side, this is our draw function. We're taking our terminal backend, and we're calling draw on it, and we're doing the frame closure, and we're just saying, hey, render widget from self. And you're like, what? And then self implements widget, which we'll call render, which does our layout stuff. I'll get to this here in a minute because that's really cool. And then we call just different things that we want to render for our application. So normally we had that UI.rs file, and that kind of handled some of that stuff over there. Now we're kind of blending in the UI with the application itself so that it renders out together. The other is the key press event. This took me a while to figure out because I had to learn I had to figure out some of the Rust language things that were going on to do it in this manner versus the way I was doing it. And I'll go over that as well. But it's around this if let and this enum here. That was boom. If you follow me on Twitter, you'll already know what that is. So we just manage in this case. It's like, hey, if it is a queue for our press, set the mode to mode quit, which exits us here, which exits the application. And then I just did 2 sections to the screen, render title bar and render middle bar. And then we're calling the render method on those. And they are banner objects, things, entities. So all we're doing is setting the title. This banner entity will, I need to figure out what the right word for that is. Will handle will handle all the stuff. And we're just creating instances of them. So if we look at banner, we have struct with text. We implement from the widget trait the render function. We're just setting it so we get the styling the same style. Then we're just doing the text, referencing the text of here into here. And then we're calling the render method of that. So that's it in a nutshell. I just kind of blazed through that. So let's take the learnings from this and actually implement it into our application and see what it takes to do that. And we'll kind of hit some of the nuts and bolts. I don't know if we're going to get done in the next 50 minutes. We will see. We'll give it a shot. So come over here. All right. And so let's start with our app. What I'm going to do, we're just going to start pub struct app 2. We want to do, let's do current screen for the moment, because current screen is main and editing. So Joshka just posted, and yeah, I totally recommend people watch these at 2x whenever they aren't watching live. That's what I do when I watch stuff. Anyway. All right, so now we're going to do quit because I like that pattern that was in that code. Yeah. And then we need to do an import here. So use Ratatui. I am going to do the prelude for now. I don't intend to use that long term. I actually don't like star imports. That's a whole other discussion for another day. Right now, this is just going to help me get going. For the sake of the live stream. Reminds me of if you ever watch Viva La Dirt League, whenever they have one of the like for the peace of the kingdom. It's kind of the vibe that just gave me. Okay, so now we're gonna do. One second. I'm gonna do simple app 2. Just stop helping me, Copilot, right now. Hub function run, and then we want our mute. So yeah, self, because we're gonna change. So we want the mutable self so that we can change things, and mess with it. The next thing that we want is a reference to a mutable terminal. We went after that last week of like a mutable reference versus a reference, and how I totally butchered it and was like, without a mutable reference, it's a fake reference. And I just was kind of doing that for simplicity for my brain. My brain sometimes doesn't like to see certain things, and I'll get to another one that in a little bit that really messed with my head until I did several exercises. I still don't like it, but it is a thing. I also figured out a few things around what I was doing for result, and you get this weird error message back, and it's like in the build time, and it was because I wasn't adding an error type to my result. And this isn't a result, that's result. So then we're just gonna, to keep it happy right now. Actually, that's gonna be a permanent thing. Oh, I need error. So use IO. Just gonna do that gist that I had earlier. I'm actually kind of typing stuff out of that for 2 reasons. One is I want the things that I need out of it, and 2, muscle memory. Use what? Oh, I am. Don't you hate it when you do dumb stuff? There we go. That should clear that. Yeah, there we go. Awesome. Okay. So we have the base function. We have the definition of our run. The next one we want is our function is running. I actually really liked this pattern because it kind of keeps it simple, so that any place, if you can just throw the current like mode, the current screen to quit, current screen in our instance to quit, and then boom, it just knocks it out and quits. And you can do that for any number of reasons. So we do self.current screen. Yep, that's what we want. Thank you, Copilot. What? We will come back to that. But this is basically what we want. All right. So now with that in mind, we want to do we want to do while, because again, I'm gonna repeat a lot of stuff that I normally repeat. Since this is running and we don't have an entire like system put in place, we have to manage the loop, just like in a game. We have to manage this is our game loop right here. And we will constantly do things until the game loop is over. And then we also want to self.handle. That's interesting. Do I want to handle input? Or do I want to handle key press as the name? I kind of like input. Maybe we're going to go with that name. Yes, I'm aware that we don't have those functions. All right. So let's do function draw. I'm going to autocomplete this if it looks good. Terminal. Terminal, implement back, result. Boom. Whoa! No. Copilot just went stupid. Okay, it'll just help me with this. All right. So here, terminal.draw. I don't like abbreviations. Thank you very much, Copilot. Frame. This. Okay. And then we want to do the frame.render widget. Stop doing that. And then we want to do self. Because self is going to implement widget. See, usually. Okay, yeah, so see here. In the docs, render a widget to the current buffer using the widget render trait. Yeah, see the word trait right there? Usually the area argument is the size of the current frame or the sub area. Okay, blah, 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 blah. So the reason I wanted to mention that is you're rendering the widget trait, so it's going to call the render on the thing that you pass in. And since we're going to implement render on our app self, okay, go away. Thank you. We're going to render, we're going to call the render function on the app, the self, and that is going to then call more render methods, functions, whatever they are, which is going to render out the things to the screen that we need. Yeah. Anyway, let me read a comment. Yeah, so comment was, yeah, Ratatui probably isn't in any of the LLMs right now. And yeah, I think I've seen some with the 4.0 of ChatGPT. I'm not 100%. I haven't actually tested it. I try to lately I've been trying to do Rust and only keep Copilot on so that I don't make dumb syntax errors. I'm trying to think through what I actually need to write. I hate when I forget a simple character because I don't have enough repetitions yet, and so I let Copilot help me not make stupid mistakes. Uh, yeah. So the next thing, we're gonna skip the handle thing for the moment. I want to talk about implementing widget for ampersand app to. Okay, and then this is going to have function render self area rect buff ampersand mutable buffer. And there we go. And then in here, I'm going to type some stuff. Let vertical equals layout vertical. And then I want to do, for now, I'm just going to copy what I have and I want to discuss because it's kind of cool. And straight, length 3, straight, length 3, just because I can. And then, so again, if you go back to a video where I was struggling terribly, this is where creating 2 spots inside of our UI that we can actually render stuff to. And this is just kind of specifying how big. Because if I did 1, it would just be like, I think 1 row. This is saying I want 3 rows. So here's the cool part. So let's do let. Actually, okay, hold on. So we're trying to do this implementation. We have the UI in UI. Let us, yep, here we go. We want to do yank. We're just going to go for it. We're going to have fun. Okay, and then cargo FMT. All right. So those are the things that we have above. Those are the segments that we have above, and from our main application. So the next thing is let's do let, and then we're going to do title. Yeah, that makes sense. Maybe. We're going to it's kind of one of those weird things. It's like, how much do you implement now versus later? I really think we just need to do 2, honestly. Let me show you what I was going to, like, what it would be if I'm re-implementing this so I can show you the cool thing. And then we're going to back it off to 2 because we want the title, then we want tabs. And then inside of each tab, we want to do different things. So let's go with that. Then we're going to do area. No. We're going to do vertical dot areas area. Now from here, we can actually do stuff. So let's see if this gives it. So I don't have split the rect into a number of sub-rects according to the given layout. Oh, that's not the... I'm going to butcher my explanation if... Anyway. So in the code that I have, we would be passing in... 1 second. To do... Uh, yeah, that makes sense right here. So we do our title, our paragraph. It's going to build out the block. It's going to style it. And then we would do, at the end of this, dot render. And there we go. Yeah, and so this is so why I think this is cool is this gives a better represent because over here we're doing it all based on arrays. And you're like, wait, chunk one, you have to put in your brain what is chunk zero, what is chunk one, what is chunk two, and you're just like, what? Whereas now we can be like, oh, I want to put this in the title position. I want to put this in the tab position. I want to put this in the request position. And I want to put this in the response position. That's what I want to render there. Uh, oh, interesting. You can pass color green to style as color implements into style. Interesting. Oh, I see what you're saying. Are you saying uh uh oh, are you saying I can do this? I think that's what I'm being told. Instead of doing what we just had. Uh, do 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 style color. Nice, nice. Just got confirmation. Thank you. For styling. Yeah, into accepts into style. Cool. Sweet. That like just totally simplifies a bunch of things. Awesome. Thank you. Good tip. Okay, so going back, we want to do this one for the main application. For the main application user interface, we want that. For, you know what? Let's go with let's come back up here. We'll change it at some point, but I kind of want to keep it similar. Yank, paste. Okay, that didn't. Wait. Oh, I already had it open. Wait. Crap. Okay, here we go. Yeah. There we go. All right. Okay, so there's a stylized trait that I was just told about, and you can call like dot green or paragraph. So, okay, let's do. New. Okay. We're gonna get this. Crap! Stop it. So def new go, and then I think if we'll do this dot green, if I'm understanding correctly. Okay. Just if you're not even wrapping, you can render the text nice. Okay, all right, live feedback. Here we go. Okay. Let's go here. Okay. Okay. Hold on. I'm gonna delete that. Percent. Percent I can do green dot bold like that. Let's go with that for the moment. Expect 2 arguments, but found 1. Okay. String from hello world. Okay. You know, something. Okay, I'm gonna kill this for a second. It might have just confused. Yeah, see, it's. I mean, now let me save it. I think the LSP just got confused. Uh, we'll run with this for now. We can always tweak it later. The title dot render in the title area. I think we wanted to do. I think that's where you're saying like it might not support if these title twice. Of course I have. Oh, ha! Okay. Error. Wait. Title. Oh, no, no, no. Ah, got it backwards. There we go. That should. You've shadowed your title area variable with the title paragraph variable. Yeah, okay, yeah, yeah. Gotcha. Okay. Alright, alright. I need to bind that to a key command instead of typing it all the time. Alright. So that should get us our thing. So now when we call back to what we're doing, when we call this render.widget on self, it's going to call this render down here, which calls to render this, and on and on and on and on and on and on. For the moment, I just want to take this, paste, tabs, 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 all the things. Okay. let's. So I was told I can do block ordered. Okay. That. So. Okay. Cool. Awesome. This is going to be awesome. Still don't understand this. Self.current screen. Wait, let's make sure. See, app2 has current screen. Not equal to current screen quit. Consider annotating current screen with derived partial equal. Okay. Okay. Going back down here, I was told. Yep, there we go. Thank you for catching that. Awesome. Okay, just out of curiosity, cargo build. We have no errors. Okay. So I want to do edit. Main. So let's do what app to hold on. Kill that for a second. So something I learned that is a cool feature of Rust. I had to look it up because actually I saw it in a some of the example code on Ratatouille, and I didn't realize it was built into Rust, and I spent I don't know how much time going through the Ratatouille code base to find it. Uh, and then once I was like, I kind of had that moment of like, I wonder if this is built into Rust. It kind of makes sense it's built into Rust. Uh, Maybe I should check that first. And that is the default trait. So if we'll do, let's go up here to current screen. We're deriving, so we're going to do default. And then we're going to say, hey, the default is going, if I help hit the right button, default. So now when we create a new instance of, well, in a second we create a new instance of the app, it's going to be like, oh, we need the default value for current screen. Oh, we're going to set it to main. And then, so we have that, and then our app 2, here we go. And then we want derive default on there. And then so that should say, hey, we'll call default function on this. We'll construct a new app2, and then anything that needs a default that implements the default trait should give us back our default value so that we don't have to do a whole bunch of other crap. Really cool feature. I feel stupid for how long it took me to figure that one out. But I got it, so it's all good. So now when we come over here, we're going to do that right there. Then we're going to do .run. And got to use my cheat sheet to make sure I don't put in the wrong thing. Yeah, it's actually what's there. So we're going to pass it in the terminal. So if we do cargo build, yeah, it's going to complain about a lot of things because we just kind of left it out there. Now let's do cargo run. This is going to butcher up my terminal because I don't have a way to escape and then run all that other stuff. There we go. There it is. That's our new UI using widgets in the app2 struct so that it's calling the way that we want it to. It works. This is exciting. Now to do kill 1810791. Man, that's a large PID. See how this is something I learned really quick. When you can't run the second half of this right here, you get this when you exit. It just totally borks it up. So I knew that was going to happen, and I was prepared for it in this case, and I didn't care. I just wanted to make sure the UI worked. I can only go so long without trying to run it. All right, so the next thing is let's do the handle input, because I want to talk about that, because that was another area where I was having to like understand and learn the language some more. We don't want to be here. We want to be here. Yep. So let's do that. Save that. Cool. I agree. It is not there. So we're going to do pub function in input mutable self. We're going to return a result. Error. There we go. And then we do some imports at the top here. Some fun imports. So we want to do use cross term. We want self event key code. Yep. That's what we want for now. We got that wrong. Okay. So with that in mind, we need to make sure we return our results. So rest is happy. Okay. So at this point, we need to read input. So we're going to do events, read that. That's going to read in our input from our user for that frame. It's going to read it in as an event. And it's going to be of an event of a certain type. And we need to do some selections based on the event of a certain type and the value of that event. Very annoying. So this is where the Rust if let can come in real handy. So what you do, and this is how my brain thinks about it. If you do if let event key equals that, then gonna do this. Then we're gonna do match self.mode. Nope, we want self.current screen. Current screen. And then we want to match on current screen main. Yeah, that's what we want. Yeah, I like what it. So what is going on is the part where this hurt my brain for a little bit is we're reading in the input and it is returning back some type of enum value. Well, you can store, so you might have an enum of event, and it's going to have a key of car. Like this is about it. I mean, this is basically what that car can hold a value. You've got to get that value out so that you can do something with it. And I'm like, okay, that makes sense. But for some reason in Rust, well, that's how they designed it. But in Rust, you give it the variable that you want there, and it pulls it out for you to use down here in later on. You're not doing, like, logically from other language uses, I feel like I would do like a key equals, you know, I don't know, event read dot event or something like that, and it would return the value of that key to key. Then I could use this variable right here later on in the code. But the way I think about it is I need to get the value of the enum from this read, so I am injecting a variable to scrape it out. That's how my brain, that's how I think about it. So someone in comments just pointed out that event read in this way will block if no key is pressed. Good call out. I think that's why there was a poll used in the examples, and I wasn't 1,000% sure why that was there, but that makes sense. I think in the case for this exact moment, blocking is fine because all I want to do is start it up and tear it down. But we'll see about adding in the polling duration so that a little later to kind of get through. Yep, cool. Somebody confirmed the up to poll. Oh, another comment. This is similar to destructuring in JavaScript and TypeScript and other languages. Okay. Oh, that makes sense. See, that's a better way to look at it. It's destructuring into because that's also what's happening. I think it's down here. Here is, in a sense, you're destructuring into variables. Yeah, cool. 2 confirmations on poll. Awesome. Thank you for bringing that up. I was a little like, I don't understand what's going on, so I'm going to get rid of it. And that's actually what I did in my gist is I got rid of a lot of stuff I didn't understand to try to bring in the minimum to help me understand some more of the basics. But awesome. Thank you for confirming the polling. That makes a lot of sense. Okay. So this should, in the main, if we hit Q, set the current screen to quit, which will trigger the is running to not be main anymore. Same thing if we're in the editing mode. And then we're just doing a thing here. Another good call out, if you need to check for the key press enum. Otherwise, you'll get a double event on release in Windows. If you're not worried about Windows, it's not a big deal. Yeah, for the moment, I don't care about Windows, but I probably should just to be nice. Uh, and in actuality, I do account for that from the JSON tutorial in here. Yeah, right here. Where I check for the release so that we don't double event. Yeah, good call out. Thank you. We're gonna make people better at development as long as they listen to other people and not me. At least not me right now. All right. Wait. Oh yeah, I see my mistake. There we go. Build. Chat. Oh, I like it. Chat driven development for sure. For sure. That's something like it. And it's awesome that people are actually, in here and helping out when the Primogen is live streaming right now, and he is much bigger than I am. Let's cargo run it, and all right, here we go. Let's press Q. It worked. I exited. Awesome. We're getting it working out. Okay. All right, let's see. So I think we're on a good track. You know what? Let's get a little crazy. I wasn't wanting to do this, but let's go ahead and do it now because I don't want to start the next big thing. For the moment, let me switch. Oh crap, I don't know. Yeah, there we go. All right, let's do, yeah. And then which one? Oh, that's not the example I want to look at. I want to look at demo 2. Then, thank you. In here is the poll. Let's struggle on this one for a minute. Let's just input, paste that. Oops. It's that for the moment, and that is coming from over here in app. Getting the here. Go. And then I just saw it as I was searching there. All right. From sex. Create a new duration from the specified number of seconds represented. Float 64. Sure will panic if sex is negative. Interesting. Okay. All right. I think I said it. Not gonna work. Checked if there is an event available. Turns okay true if the event is available. Otherwise, it returns okay false. True guarantees the subsequent call to the read function won't block. Okay, cargo run. Assuming it's not blocking. Okay, so just left it. They use 50 frames per second there because the examples get translated to GIFs, which top out at 50 frames per second. Totally makes sense, and I like it. We're gonna keep that. Because it was just it's a good thing to have. It's better than like one, you know. So we'll call it good. Uh, okay, awesome. Okay, okay, this will still block. You need the event read instead of the if event poll. Okay, this. I I would think, yeah, this would. I think the how I'm reading this is if it polls. So what was said is this will still block. You need the event read instead of the event poll section. Wait, this will still block, by the way. You need the event read instead of the if event poll section instead of after. How I read this is that it's going to check for an event, and if there is an event, then it's going to be like, okay, move on. If there's not, it's just going to return, and it's just going to happen really, 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 really fast at 50 frames per second. But it should catch it. Okay, okay, let's see. No, it should be fine. The event poll returns false if there's no event, so the return okay will return to the caller in that case, meaning nothing will be blocked. Okay, I'm just saying, okay. Didn't notice the, cool. Okay, I got you. Didn't notice the not in there. Okay. Yeah, so this works. Cool. Awesome. Cool. I think this is awesome progress. It's about 10 o'clock. It's about time to wind down because I'll go to bed here in a little bit. So I just want to thank everyone that showed up and watched and participated. Like, I think this made it out a lot better. I learned a lot. Hopefully I was able to convey kind of doing it widgets versus building it up the way we did from the JSON editor. I could definitely see the advantages here on this, and we will continue next week, and we will try tabs again, except we're going to use the tabs widget. That'll be interesting. I'll probably play with it a little bit between now and then. Work has been a little crazy for me, so I've been working a little bit extra, so I might not get to it until next week, so I'll let you know. I'm having a lot of fun with this. Ratatui is a great library. Definitely check it out. They just released a new version, and they released some discussion forums if you're interested. Let me see if there's a link on here. Let's go to the website. It's so new I can't find. Oh, there it is. There it is, right there, right in my face. So they have some new forums as well. If you don't want to get on the Discord channel, they also have Matrix as well. If you're more into Matrix, and check it out. I'm really liking it, and I will see you next week. Thank you to the people that showed up in chat. I really, really, really do appreciate it. These guys are awesome. Totally get into it and check it out. All right, I will see y'all later.